Hey, look at that. I think I'm live. This is my first ever YouTube live stream. Hot damn. And I think I'm by myself, but that's okay. I didn't announce this to anybody. I mean, I put it I guess an announcement. I created this ahead of time and just left it in my YouTube feed. So who knows? If somebody shows up, cool. If not, that's cool too. It doesn't matter. This is all just kind of leading up to what I wanted to talk about today. And that is what I plan to do with this channel. So I thought what I'd do is talk about why I started it, what I've done with it, and what I want to do from here on out. Okay. So, anyway, I started this I joined YouTube, God, a long time ago, 14, 15 years ago, but I didn't upload anything. I just used it to have an account. But my first upload was about, 5.5 years ago. And at the time, I wanted to do some tutorials with Audacity, recording software that I use. And I wanted to show people, how to take care of things in certain applications and just share a little knowledge. At that time, I think I had just started doing some coaching. So I wanted to share these videos with students. So to help them get along through their process of learning how to record their auditions and work and that kind of thing. So I did a bunch of those. Um, and then I started also incorporating some, just sort of observations, voiceover business information. And also I did some interviews. I interviewed some of my voiceover friends. I did, I don't know, half a dozen of those, maybe 8 of them. And those were fun. And then I'm not sure why, but excuse me, I just kind of stopped creating videos for one reason or another. Something must have caught my attention, squirrel, you know, I can be very much like that, something's catching my attention over there. So everything else gets left by the wayside. So anyway, also my wife and I had a big move. We moved from California, from the Bay Area, the San Francisco Bay Area, up to Oregon, Salem, Oregon, to be precise. And so that was, man, that was arduous. I hate moving. Moving sucks. So we use the pods moving system where you load up all these containers with all your items, you ship them off. Now, we did not have a house to move to right away. We were moving up to Oregon, to Salem, to the Salem area without really. Well, we had been doing a lot of shopping online and things like that. We had made contact with a couple of real estate agents, so we were making connections and all that kind of thing, but we weren't gonna buy a house sight unseen, or at least not seeing it in person and experiencing what it was like. We're not that gutsy. So what we did was we stayed in several Airbnbs. Um, because it was difficult. Well, one thing, we didn't know how long we were going to need to stay in these things, and it was difficult to figure out or fit into their openings. Some places we could only stay for a week or 10 days. Other times it was a little bit of a longer stretch. We ended up staying in 3 different Airbnbs for a total of, oh man, it was probably a few months. And so essentially I took my recording equipment, my computer, everything I needed for recording, and I set up a blanket booth um, in each of these things so I could continue working. I've got clients that thankfully want my services, regular clients that send me work all the time. So that worked out. Anyway, so through the midst of this, and even after finding our house and moving in here, I still needed to build this room. Now, this room was an office previously, but it was about double the size, and I didn't want that space to be that big. So I built a partition wall right here, and then you know, paint, carpet. There was no carpet in here before. I had to put carpet in here, which I repurposed from another room that we didn't want carpet in there, but it was still in pretty good shape. So anyway, YouTube definitely fell by the wayside. Even when after we moved in here and I was settled into this room, which took, I mean, I was working in a blanket booth for a year. But even after moving in here, I got started with other projects. We've got a cool house. It's a 1962 mid-century rancher. And it's undergone several, let's just say, not well, to our taste, they were not successful renovations and improvements. So, so we have been going about redoing some things. Um, for instance, on the outside of the house, there was, um, oh, vinyl cladding, which is fine, but this stuff was pretty old. And it had been painted and it had started to warp and that kind of thing. And so, it wasn't weather tight, it wasn't wind tight. So we had our house completely resided, repainted. I built a shed in the backyard from the ground up. That was a great construction project. Good sized shed too. Um, and so we've been doing things like that. We put new kitchen countertops in. Just trying to just trying to bring this house back from a kind of dreary life, dreary existence before we came along. Oh yes, we're just so wonderful. Kidding. So to get back to it, YouTube totally fell by the wayside. So, although I did make some updates as I was, for instance, building the wall, I think I did a couple of YouTube videos about what I was doing in here, and to create my little studio here, and then it's been very sporadic since then, and I want to get back into it. I kind of miss it, and I still want to share stuff. So that's where it was, and where I'd like to go with it, is in some ways very much the same. I still want to do some tutorials, and actually, I'd like to do something different. I've already started. I uploaded a performance example. I think I titled it "Yawn Performs," and so. And that was fun, and people seem to get a kick out of it, and so I'm gonna do more of that. Not just characters, but also just various styles of narration, just kind of what my day-to-day voiceover work life is like. It's a wide variety of things. Um, and, what else? I'd also like to do some more interviews. As a matter of fact, I've got one coming up. This weekend, I'm gonna be interviewing a friend of mine who is I think he does a fair amount of different types of work, but I think he's best known for being an audiobook narrator, and I don't do that stuff, so I have no idea what that's like. I mean, I think I have an idea. I've talked to other people, in passing, other friends that record audiobooks, but I've never done one. I don't know what his process is like, and I think that might be interesting for all of us to listen to. So I've got some questions I wanna ask him, so that'll be coming up. Um, Also, I want to continue to bring you more voiceover business tips and thoughts about where things might be going, things to not worry about, other things to focus on, because people get distracted from the main point, and that is what you're doing with your business. That's the biggest focus, or what I believe should be your biggest focus in running your voiceover business. I've already started uploading some things about that more recently. And then just as other some other miscellaneous things. Maybe one day I'll post a cooking video. I like to cook. And I have certain restrictions with my diet that I have to take into consideration. So maybe, I don't know, maybe that'll be interesting too. Anyway, that won't be a regular occurrence if I even do it at all. I don't know. I'm just floating things out there. So that's where I see this going. I want to be helpful. And I think I can be. So that's what I want to do. That's kind of in a nutshell, that's what I want to do with YouTube from here on out. Now, I could use your help in order for me to keep this going, or not in order to, but it would be really nice if you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. That'd be awesome. Um, and along with that, I'd love to interact with you. Feel free to comment on my videos. What are your thoughts? Good, bad, or whatever. Make suggestions. What would you like to hear my thoughts about? Now I will say that I am not an expert about everything. I am not the all-seeing, all-knowing oracle of the voiceover industry. Definitely not. I'm a hard worker. I make a good living, and in my 10 plus years of doing this full time, I've seen a lot. I've seen trends. And have experienced things maybe not to do. I've tried different things, but I never want to discourage you from trying your own thing. Like I said, it's your business. Do what you want. But I might have some thoughts on whatever topic might interest you. So please suggest something to me. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Let's see, what else? Well, that's all that I had planned for. It looks like I'm flying completely solo with this live stream, and that's totally okay. Hey, I get a video out of it. But maybe, and I want to do this more. I'd like to do this maybe once a week. Hopefully, I'll get more attendance. I also need to figure out when people are available, because right now, let's see, it's 1:42 p.m. on a Tuesday afternoon Pacific time. And maybe this is not a good time to do live streaming. I don't know. So feel free to also comment when you think it might be a better time for me to do this, because it would be more fun if I had more people to have involved with this. Okay. Anyway, I think that's about it. Yeah, thanks for watching. I hope I hope you like what you're hearing and seeing. And I'll look forward to catching up with you next time. Okay. All right. Now, how do I end this thing? There's a big button that says end stream. So click